Okay, Edo State people and Nigerians across the world, greetings to you all. Welcome to the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Oreahi, and it is really an honor to welcome you to this program this evening. Today, I'm having a special guest, and the reason why I'm having this guest is because you will recall that, almost every year in recent time, we are having one election or the other across different parts of Nigeria. And of course, people always, bring themselves out for election. And of course, Nigerians cluster around the people they support and all of that. But one thing has been very much evident, and that is that we hardly really do, background checks on the candidates and of course Nigerians, throwing themselves up for election. Could that be one of the reasons why, year on year, we are having to complain about our leaders? Because at the end of the day, when some people get elected, we start hearing tales and stories about their past, how they grew up, the people who knew them, from when they were quite young. And when some of them begin to, reveal things about these human beings, these politicians, it will no longer be a surprise that the attitude they put up when they get elected, it may not be a far cry from what you get eventually, hear, about their upbringing. For some, their upbringing is very obscure. People don't really know much about them. For others, their attitude in governance is known. People may not be happy with what they do, their dispositions and every other thing as far as when they're in government. And when you just oppose all of these, at the end of the day, something is clear and it's crystal clear, and that is that there is nobody who can become a better adult having been a bad adolescent or a bad young person. It's difficult, but people will easily graduate from being better adolescents or better young people to better adults, as it were, and all of that. So because of that, we have taken it, as part of our own commitment to the process, particularly looking at the Edo State governorship election that's around the corner. And of course, we know that there are three major candidates, talking of the PDP, the EPC, and of course the Labour Party candidates. Today, I'm having the pleasure of having this section with Dr. Oro. Dr. Oro grew up with Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata, the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party. And I thought there is the need for us to know who Olumide actually is. How was his upbringing like? Are we hopeful that Olumide, if elected, will deliver on the promises he's been making over the past few months? And I thought that it's necessary to begin to have that conversation. And today, I'm glad to host Dr. Oro. Dr. Oro, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Comrade Show.
Thank you very much, comrade. It's a pleasure being a guest of yours today.
Thank you. Dr. Oro, could you just tell us a bit about yourself? I don't, let us hear from the horse's mouth. Who is Dr. Oro?
I'm Chief Dr. Oro Etaluku. I'm a consultant psychiatrist based in the UK. I'm also the AC of Igbide Kingdom, which is where I come from Isoko South local government area in Delta State. I believe I'm a man of many parts. Actually, I wear different hats. I'm also the managing director of the Damo Nigeria Limited, which is a diverse conglomerate business based in Nigeria. We're into engineering, construction, dredging, agriculture, and also real estate. So I'm a man of many parts, but I think most importantly, from the show. Uh, I'm a childhood friend of Olumide Akpata, the Labour gubernatorial candidate for Edo State. I believe our paths, Olumide's paths and mine, actually crossed well over 40 years ago. Um, I think we met whilst we were both attending a particular lesson. It was quite popular in Warri in those days, where we get expert coaching for the National Common Entrance, which we all sat together. I believe we all, passed in flying colors. I ended up in Federal Government College, Warri, while Lumide went to King's College in Lagos. But our friendship, our association has actually, if I suspect, if anything, has worked stronger, going through the years. And after secondary school, we met again at the University of Benin, where I did my medical school. So I was, I was in Benin for 7 years for a 6-year course, because we all ended up losing 1 year after, multiple protests at the time against the military regime of the day. So, but reconnected in Uniben. After Uniben, whilst Tolu headed up to Lagos to, he started working in Warri before he ended up in Lagos. I came over to the UK, to further my career, and I've been here ever since.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so apparently, it is right to say that you are one person who know Olumide very, very well. How would you describe Olumide as a young person, particularly at that age? When you guys were preparing for your school sets, I believe.
Well, I believe Olumide and I, we probably um, belong to probably the top class of students at the time, who were really known for their academic brilliance and excellence. So, and I say that I don't take it lightly, because I've always known Olu to be a highly intelligent person, and also a very, very focused person. And, looking over the years, I mean, Olumide is not just close friends to me. There are so many other friends that I know, common friends that, that we have. I've also known him to be very, very dedicated, to his, to friends alike. Is somebody who maintains relationship. He builds relationships with people. And over the years, life has happened to all of us. He has had his trials, he has had his tribulations, he has also had his successes as well. So also have I. But all through, we've always had that close relationship. We don't see very often, interestingly, but whenever we find the time, we catch up on the phone. We probably will spend hours. We will talk about everything, x-ray our lives, then move forward. But one thing that is striking with Olumide is this zeal, because a part of him people don't know is how disciplined he actually is. He's a very disciplined person. He's also very focused. And most importantly, if Olumide tells you, I'm going to do this, he actually ends up doing it. He is not somebody who is lousy, or he will say, "Oh, I will forget." In short, certain times when we meet, he will even be the one to bring up stuff he probably said years ago that that you may have forgotten, but that man doesn't seem to forget it, anything. So is very very committed, very dedicated to to those who he has built a relationship with over time, and you can see that even up to date, a lot of the key people around Olumide, I've known them for well over 20 years. Is retained the same key cabinet staff or close knit people around him. So it's somebody who you really want to have as a friend, I must tell you.
Now, well, I'm very much interested in this line of discourse. So how would you relate this? I'll call it a virtue. If somebody was able to retain friendship for that long, how would you relate that to somebody who is aspiring to become the governor of a state?
Well,
How would such kind of virtue help a state in the wider, scope?
I think it would be a blessing for Edo State to have Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata as their next governor. And I say it seriously because is somebody, we're in the season of campaigning, and we've seen it time and time again where people make promises, but they only turn out to be promises, and they don't go out, they don't invest time, they don't invest resources into making sure that whatever promise that they've given, that they meet it up. I've spoken to Olumide deeply about his ambition, and and I know, based on what I've seen, Olu as a promise keeper, as somebody who goes out of his way to serve others, because trust me, he has been doing that for a long time. I've seen, so in short, the greatest things I know about Olumide is not even, it even transcends just the personal relationship we have. It's even testimonies from people who I know Olu has been faithful over the years, who I know that Olu has gone out of his way, to ensure that, they are comfortable in one way or the other, or is actually dealt with their problems. And one thing I know too about him too is that he's not somebody who brags about his achievements, what he has done or how he has helped people. No, he just, I only get the testimonies, and trust me, I've had so many over the years. So he is so somebody who builds relationships, because democracy in the true sense of the word is supposed to be about relationships between the leaders and the people who they lead, and actually building that trust, between them, maintaining that relationship, between them, keeping, making sure that promises are kept, and even nurturing that relationship even after they leave office. You hardly see that, unfortunately, amongst the politicians, well, this isn't politicians that we know, but I know that Olumide coming into politics is really to make changes and to really bring real changes to his people.
I mean, definitely you are speaking from the position of strength, I would say, because from your establishment, you know Olumide very, very well.
Mm.
Um, and given the way Nigerian politics is, how dirty in quotes many would describe it, the polity. Do
Yes.
you candidly advise Olumide to run for the governorship of Edo State, to become the next governor of Edo State? I mean, having known him as a protective friend, is it your candid advice that Olumide should be in this race?
Why not? Uh, you know, you have to look at the qualities of, the known politicians among us. And you look at their qualities, you trace their trajectory, how they started in politics, you look at what they have done to really impact the life of the average man, in their constituency. And you see failures upon failures. And a lot of times you pinch yourself to say, we can always do better. We have the right people, but we know that for a variety of reasons, for a long time, we don't really have the right people coming out, and actually, contributing their quota through politics. When you look at Olumide's life, you see that if he had decided to remain where he was, as one of the founding partners of Templars, believe me, he had a very good life, and some of us didn't see it coming in one way, because you think, well, he's achieved really everything he set out to achieve as far as law practice is concerned at a relatively young age. And with him, you always have to think, what next? But he sacrificed a lot to say, you know what, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the condition of my state. I don't like the what the average man is facing, and I think I can do better. I have all the qualities, to actually make a difference. So the question is, why not? There's integrity, there's intelligence, there's vision. For goodness sake, what else do you really need, to drive a state forward? A lot of times people pray and pray and, oh God, we want change, we want the right leader, we want this, we want that. And, sometimes I always laugh and joke with them to say, be careful what you pray for, because sometimes as human beings, a lot of us go through the motions, but when the time comes, when the answer comes, sometimes people are not even prepared for it. So, Lumide for me is not an ordinary person; is a once in a generation kind of person. So, I believe Edo State will be blessed, and I can only say that they should try, and see really what Olu is going to do, because I know that at the heart is selfless, and at the heart of everything, all the drama, I believe is a promise keeper who really wants to improve the life of the average person in Edo State.
I am glad you said this. You are from we used to be Bender, and I believe at the time that Olumide was schooling in Delta, now Delta, we were
Yes.
Bender, and
Mm.
of course on the 27th of August 1991, Edo State was established the same way with Delta State, and when we look back at these years past, it's arguable that Delta State has done relatively, better by way of governance, than Edo State. And interestingly, though of course we are not going to close our eyes to the fact that the revenue that has been coming to Delta State has been a lot more than that of Edo State. But
Yes.
that said, Benin City was the capital of the Midwestern region,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Benin City was also the capital of Bende State.
Yes.
Benin City is currently the capital of Edo State.
Mm.
Now, looking at Benin City right from the 60s down to the present age, some of us right now in our 50s as well, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Would you say that Edo State is on the right trajectory? I mean, you know Edo State very well, and you know Delta State very well.
I do. Unfortunately, no, no. I, I think the last time I actually drove past Benin, made a few stops. Um, I Let's just say I wasn't impressed. Knowing as someone who really lived in Benin for 7 years, and from what I hear, because I've not really, because whilst I was in Uniben, I remember we did our community medicine posting in Ogbona, um, I know it's somewhere not too far from Fuga and Agenebode,
Yeah.
up that way. And from what I hear, even the road network, Edo State is primarily an agrarian state. There's also oil and gas reserves. But from what I hear about the road networks outside Benin, unfortunately, it's not, it's really far, way short of what we would expect. And knowing how important and how central Edo State is, as a heartbeat of the nation, it's not been given that name for nothing. But I think the state is struggling really to reclaim that past glory.
Okay. Now, as somebody who has known, because what we Edo State people want is a better Edo State,
Mm,
okay,
yeah.
against all narratives.
Yes.
Now, somebody who knows Olumide very, very well.
Mm,
And I want to remind you, the internet, okay, doesn't forget.
I know.
This broadcast we're having right now is your integrity is on the line. Your
Mm-hmm.
everything is on the line. It's going to be a reference point. People are going to refer to this tomorrow, okay? You don't know where it's going to come up. Do
Yeah.
you strongly vouch for Olumide that if Olumide becomes governor of Edo State, the narrative will change?
I think I can vouch 110% that Olu means business, and what I want to say too next is not something I will say lightly. 25 years ago, exactly, I met with Olumide in London. He was on a working holiday at the time. He was really trying to make his way and make his mark for the young legal firm Templars Nigeria at the time. And I remember, very clearly Olumide articulating very clearly the vision that they had in Templars and where he wanted that firm to be in the years to come, and what steps he had taken up to that point and where he was going further. It's not a surprise that about 5 years from then, from that meeting, when I met, he came to see me briefly at my house in Manchester. And whilst we were talking about the firm, as at that time, I think I remember him saying, they had expanded and they probably had somewhere about 50 lawyers, working under them. And I was just looking at him in awe to say, my goodness, exactly what he was saying at the time. He was just following that trajectory, and we see
Yeah.
where it ended. That he even rose to become the president of the NBA. This is not something, I don't think it happened by accident. Well, he was very, very focused on about these things. And it may interest you to know that as part of that argument 25 years ago, I think that was where, I don't know whether he knew why he was doing it, why he was telling me at the time, but really that was when he told me that, that later on, when he's achieved what he wants to achieve in his law practice, that he would want to become the governor of his state.
So what you have established is that when he started Templars, just maybe about 30 years ago, so to speak, and he projected into what he wanted Templars to be.
Yes.
And 5 years after, 25 years, 30 years down the line, he's gotten Templars to where he actually projected it to be.
Definitely. Of course, with the help of all his partners, colleagues, but yes, they've gotten to where possibly even more than, for me, he's even gotten to more than where I thought he would be. Fair, in fairness.
Very, very direct question. Do you consider Olumide Akpata an honest person?
Very much so. Very much so. As we as we say in Warri, Olu likes to speak in pidgin. I too, I like to speak in pidgin as well.
No, just before you go on, that's how we know we will go now. Okay,
Okay.
Olu had something to say. I have a video of Olu when you talk about this pigeon matter. Now, just let's drive this conversation towards that direction. I know, and me too. Me, I know they fear that pigeon matter.
Now hot water when Gary see and turn on to Eba. I speak a lot of pidgin. I think in pidgin before I translate into English in my head.
Okay.
So I remember that our people talk say now war went for and I make goat climber, or now condition I bend crayfish back. I'm sure you're familiar with these idioms of our people. So we have a situation on our hands where the people find themselves with very little options, nothing to do at home. And I think that brings us back to governance. That brings us back to why Labour Party is here. Our logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin. No coincidence. People-centered, people-focused, people-centric priorities and policies.
Okay. That's Olumide, of course. He say he did think first for pidgin before he was talking for English. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is something, about Olumide. They don't want to ask whether is he honest, because in government today, a lot of our politicians, when they get a chance to become whatever, governor, chairman, president, what we know they see now honesty for inside their body. You know what I'm saying now?
Yes.
Now, and I actually know from what I've heard, Olumide is considered as Ajebo, one of those persons when they're born with silver spoon. Okay? I stand to be corrected, but that's not waiting. We don't hear about him. This guy, not Ajebo be. But somehow, in contrast to what we know Ajebo to be, Olumide seems to be yoking very well with people who will not be Ajebo. They don't throw them. They just go. Can you speak to these, and of course speak to the subject of honesty? But it's very, very, very key as far as this matter is concerned.
Yes.
Honesty and integrity.
Yes. Olumide is a very, very honest person. I can assure you on that. If Olumide cannot do something and you ask him, he will not beat around the bush and say, as we they talk for Warri, he not go post you. He go just tell you as he be. Say, my brother, I fit do like this. So if this side I not fit do this side, I not fit do this side. Olu na talk na do. With a one term we they use for Warri. Say now wetin he talk, say he go do, now he they do. So he is that kind of person. Yes, people go say Olumide, whether na Jebota and the rest, but I will not deny that. Also too, I not go deny say even some people not go look me say I be a Jebota. I won't deny it. But
you know Ajebo too.
Well, I not go deny. Make I not put myself for trouble. I not go deny. Myself get integrity. But what I will assure you about Warri, for those who know about Warri, Warri was a small town, a very happy town, very viable economically in the 70s and the 80s, when we were growing up. So Warri was unique, where whether you be a Jebota, whether you be a Jepako, whether you be area father ground, Warri had a way of blending everybody. Everybody they blend. So one of the biggest traits I will assure Edo people that Olu has, so by virtue of this upbringing where all classes, at some point they mix, everybody they flow together and the rest, pidgin our and our lingua franca, all of that. Olu was somebody where it was one of the few people when I know where get that trait, say he can relate with anybody from any background, and he has been doing that till date. So if not to sit down with market woman, make the yarn how the puff when she dey fry for road, how the business they go, whether they go well, Olufi sit down there 3 hours, they go yarn that matter, they go conclude, the woman go smile, come out. If he live there, enter private plane, go see President Tinubu for Aso Rock, and also they will have a fantastic and intelligent decision on whatever area they need to have. He always had that trait, and I believe say Edo people go gain seriously from that.
Okay. Dr. Oro, thank you very much. All this thing you don't talk about now. Now for this election where they want to take place for Edo State, okay, there's been this discourse, this issue. Though that's in the matter, it don't come down now a bit. But there's been this discussion about hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Dr. Oro, can you hear me? Bless you not to hear me again. No. Hello, do you still hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me? Bless you. Nigerians, more and over, so I've been speaking to Dr. Oro, a childhood friend of Olumide Akpata, and of course, like I said earlier, time don't reach for us to begin to talk to people we know of these politicians, so that we'll be able to know the background of these politicians, and of course, project into what we will expect if they win and all of that. We didn't do that specifically with Obaseki. We had a few things, we're not really, I don't think people see they very much in the cloud with how Obaseki background be like and every other thing and all of that, but today, a lot of people have become very critical, very, dissatisfied with the way the guy has, been running at those states and all of that. So I always thought that, man, look, it's good for us to have an inkling. Rightly or wrongly, some of these things we can always make reference to them, And so I'm talking to Dr. Oro, Chadu from Olumide. Doctor, if you can hear me, just let me know. And with the talk, I know, see, man, this as technology matter they be now. This matter feed trip off, here and there, as the case is. So, but just before Dr. Oro come, may I play this small this when the come give me just to, wet the ground. If you don't, share a broadcast me, fail, I beg. Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Let's just share. God bless. I'll come back shortly.
Party on a ghetto, yeah. Gele, ghetto men on a nejebe. Party ni magwalo. Labor Party on a ghetto, yeah. Gele, ghetto men on a nejebe. Party ni magwalo. Otega bu, osena zebo. Ghetto men on a nejebe.
Nwata no Labour Party otu ni mani viedoze no orima otu ne Peter Obi ye ona otu no ga setiru agbapa kevo maye otedo mani viedo manemi no bugbe bo bakari oba no ga mani makeve mo magwalo ọnwa anọga setiru na hia yen no go vi ma otima Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata ọgarue awọ gbugbo ga me iyobo le va me na kpowe ya owisi mi egbe garo upara babe he ya ọga wi yobi go never ni dueki ibi ma ga yesuku no ma okwi pata viziga no kian be ya na e ya risi yo wariazene Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata ari yere ipise yange ne patinike dovebo na iya maru ebi ropa iya magbetu fiele ona hiayi maya fe riazene oviedo oviesesese Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata no ladi ame Labour Party no yera bi yewo mo ya nwa igbe ari yere Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata Peter Obi ze o wariazene Labour Party osata ene o
Labour Party ni magwalo.
Well, that are just advertising for me. I think I like it. It's really nice. So yeah, I'm glad you are back, Dr. Oro. So make we not divert too much. Like I was saying, I was trying to establish.
Yes.
In the course of this election, they talk about there's been this talk about a sun agenda. You know what I mean? And people they talk to men are some people turn. it's a very legitimate discourse and all of that. Olumide does not talk about the matter too. And he already established, look, PDP no will use their own whatever trajectory, take the side for everybody.
Yes.
And of course, you get point for that. APC no will use their own trajectory, take the side for everybody. But there is something that Peter Obi said when Peter Obi was running for presidency of Nigeria.
Yes.
And a lot of people were advocating, look, it is time for an Easterner to become the president of Nigeria. It formed part of why some people say, it must be Peter Obi and all of. We see all the Babati when it take place that time. But Peter Obi addressed that matter. I don't know if you listen to a little except when Peter Obi talk. Then I can ask your opinion on this matter we got to do with Edo State.
No.
Edo State process now. Let's take a listen.
Okay.
Let's verify who we are. It is important for you. Do not say because Peter Obi is from the East, I will vote for him. Do not vote for me because I'm an Igbo man. Do not vote for anybody because they're from the West. Do not vote for anybody because they're from the North. This is time to vote a human being who have conscience and trust.
This is time to vote a human being who's got conscience and trust.
Yes.
Can you speak to this issue as it relates to Edo State currently? And of course, some people won't see they talk about Tom and all of that. Because I don't really follow this election more or less.
Yes. It's a sensitive and a very sensitive issue. When people, Europeans, Americans, when they ask me a lot about Nigerians, how many tribes we get, I say, look, we have over 300 languages, so we are very, very diverse. And I know how sensitive this matter is for the average Nigerian, let alone someone from Edo State. Indeed, it's an issue that I've spent the most time talking to Olu about. But I will say a couple of things. When people are diverse, and as you would have in Edo State, everybody wants a sense of belonging. Everybody wants fairness. Everybody wants equity. There's no two way about it. And coming from the Labour Party, which really was not an established party, in Edo State, as Olu asked me, say, when your leg never dey ground, who they go carry go fight this election? You need Labour Party being disadvantaged in so many ways. They needed their best candidate. They needed their star performer to come forward. Now, if Edo State was in the league of, say, Lagos State when it comes to good governance, then this matter go even come dey so strong and relevant. Why? Because the development they flow in every part of the state. People are feeling the government. So yes, the matter will even be more relevant. But from what they hear, Edo State is actually they on life support. My brother, if you get accident, you dey unconscious and the rest. Even if now Igbo man when be racist and he say make black doctor not touch him, my brother, at the point where you dey unconscious, you no go want know where the doctor come from.
Absolutely.
Wetin you want here be say the doctor no work, and if he handle your condition, you go well. And that is the situation where I feel say Edo State people find themselves. And trust me, for a man when get integrity, for a man when they keep relationship, for a man when they keep promises, my brother, when this man enter, because he has repeated and sang this song so much, Olumide wants to bring development to every part of Edo State. Every part of Edo State has its pluses. Every part gets its, they get their own unique resources, and he wants to harness, so he wants to make Edo State a construction site. He wants to harness all their resources in a way that has never been done before, in a transformational way. So I plead with people to say, now life support the state day. So let the best person go in there, and set the scene, really lay the foundation, for good governance for that state. And the thing go touch everybody equally. And like he has assured, he said the rotation it go continue. But I just say, by the time this rotation was established between PDP and APC, Labour Party was not in the picture. And they really needed to bring their best candidate. And when development really comes and touches everybody, that would not be too much of an issue, by the grace of God. But I respect people who feel very strongly about it. I understand where they are coming from. But, emergency situation needs emergency measures. Unfortunately, that's the reality that we find ourselves. And I think that's what Olu is bringing to the table.
Dr. Oro, I ask you just now, say, do you see, after someone when you grew up with Olu, I ask you whether the guy gets integrity, I ask you whether he gets honest and every other thing, but now part of the issues, right, I can establish before they get, will make us the where we be at the moment.
Yes.
In recent days, this now waiting happen in the course of the protest where they go on right now, okay, for Edo State. And this thing actually went viral, okay?
Okay.
I'll just play the video for you. Just a short video.
Our arrest, see our arrest, say government give us, say they come hide, we don't locate her. Yeah, now Aurora, see rest everywhere. See rest, tell our friends, not come carry rest. See rest, for Aurora, see rest. See Edo State rest, they give us, see they go hide down, see Edo State rest, they go hide down. Our arrest, see our arrest, see government, see our bad government, see our arrest, they dash us. They go hide down, see our arrest, they go hide down.
Okay, I don't want to play that one of it, but it's quite extensive. Yes. And that matter can generate a lot of discourse. Government of Edo State the subject matter per se. Government of Edo State can talk, say, now opposition they try to do within their hands. Some people can talk, say, now one truck, many talk. We're not going to where any matter they go. But in recent days, okay, Oshomole, when the APC, okay, it can give some revelations. I want you to take a listen.
I'm sorry to take some time. Is that it has done so much by way of what can the president do now? President has given state governors, for example, this last month, about 400 and something billion, which no state collected less than 10 billion naira. Some go more than 10 billion naira. Grant. In addition to the fact that when I was governor, the revenue of Edo State, for example, I wasn't getting more than 3 billion, 3.2 billion. Last month, my governor got a level point, I think the month before, 11.6, last one about 11.1 billion, plus those grants. And then the Minister of Agriculture said 20 trucks of rice. Now, I saw yesterday, I think if we on your channel or in Arise Television, that rather than give out this rice will be rebagged, putting a Edo State government name in it, and they were not being distributed. The people discovered it, and they democratized the distribution.
All right.
You call it looting. I
said, no, Senator, I know we have issues when it comes to palliatives.
The people take it. There is nothing looting about it, because it is meant for the people.
Okay, we cannot take our time too much for this matter. But there's been a lot of bass boosts inside this matter. Sam?
Yeah.
But the thing don't lead to a lot of gap and a lot of distrust.
Sorry, comrade, from my end, I know they hear waiting they play for the video.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, you're supposed to hear it. But anyways, the issue was that he got this warehouse for Benin. People go bust, go to remove rice, government, they hide rice. the same scenario happened about 4 years ago or so, or 3 years ago with the same government and everything. But Oshomole just came to reveal saying last month our state got about 11 billion. Federal government made provision of rice to the states. Everything when you talk about it comes like saying it contradicts the excuse when the state government they give us. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now, and all of that. And if Oshomole is, if not true Oshomole they talk, I use the word if, because all these politicians, you know, they have their own way. It therefore means that, you know, there's a trust deficit somewhere between our government and, you know, the state and the way that they run our states. Now, these are some of the reasons why some of us are like, man, all this kind of wuru-wuru, we know what again.
Yes.
Do you think that if Olumide is elected the governor of Edo State, all this kind of manafiki and wuru-wuru, do you think they will stop in Edo State? Based on person when you know, kuro one-on-one.
Now, comrade, the answer when I won't give for this matter when you they talk so, if it shock you, okay? But what I would tell the viewers is that by the grace of God, based on extensive discussions I have been having with Olumide, Osaigbovo, Akpata, that Edo State, by the grace of God, if Edo State starts realizing 20% of its potential, that Edo State should be one of the central food baskets in Nigeria. So therefore, citizens of Edo State don't need bags of rice from Abuja before they go chop. If you reach a stage, you know, this issue of sharing rice and the rest is very painful for some of us to see. We should not, with waiting God give us, we should not even be in a position where president go talk for Abuja, say they send truck of rice. So if they not send the truck of rice, people not go chop.
Okay.
So, you know, so when you even get to that stage where they send truck of rice come, that means government don't fail. And what Olumide is trying to say, we not, Edo State people not go reach that position where they go they rush food if they can get themselves together. That is what this man is aiming for. He's not aiming to be one of the best governors when know how to share rice, give people. No, that is not what he's aiming for. He's aiming for a state where we say Edo self go they produce so much food, so much rice. The citizens will be okay economically and in every other way. So they wouldn't even be if they say federal government, they sell trucks self. They fit tell federal government, may they divert them to another state when need them. That is the vision that this man is carrying. And that is what he's working for, he's working towards.
Honestly, as you see the answer what you give someone, it shocked me. You not gonna follow the line when we talk. You know, I think it shocked me to the extent of, you know, creating in me, you know, a deeper belief. You understand what I'm saying now, and all of that. You know, earlier, you on a general scale, you know, because this program to know Olumide right from the cocoa. And you did that from the very, very, very cocoa and all of that.
Yeah.
Olumide, you know, he come London. Last week I was with Olumide in London. We traveled together to Manchester for this engagement with Nigerians and every other thing.
Yeah.
So now the first time we met Olumide, and we had very good interactions. But I discovered, say, Olumide they play well. They play with everybody. They in a gist man. You understand what I'm saying? That kind of man with all the, I mean, and they see as they do for a campaign, go they dance with market women, they do this. This kind of person with all they play. So you should say this person go in serious for life. He get that to do things seriously. Government matter have serious business.
So Olumide is a well-rounded person. And I say that with every seriousness. So when it's time to walk, most people not walk richer. When it's time to play, people still not play richer. And because I have to be careful with my words, but 22 years ago when I got married, I did the traditional wedding in Akure.
Yes.
And Olumide was one of the people where follow me, when support me and go carry my wife. My brother, for the reception, I'm talking 22 years ago, when Olumide begin move for dance floor, me when be groom, when they marry, people forget me. Now Olumide now they go meet.
It's still the show.
So, but please, people should never ever confuse that. What is wrong in being someone, because the qualities you need as a governor, you should be able to interact with everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's social. So socially you should be well adjusted. So when you have somebody who is adjusted in every way, including socially, is a big plus. Because for that dance, when they dance, when they talk to you here, talk to you there, you go to say the guy not remember with you now they talk. Now lie you everything. He don't code.
I notice some.
He don't code. As they talk to you, they be like computer when they download information. He don't code everything down. Know where they go. So please.
I noticed some.
It's
not surprising to say the guy don't build a very big industry, around himself, even with the law firm and everything. Don't reach the highest of the highest for in law practice and every other thing. But it's a bit. To the average man, when we say, man, they look like if he's serious, he's serious. If he's play, he's play. To see Olumide able to just navigate between the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, it's a very big surprise to people like us that are actually like on the sideline, like learning, like, man, wow, because I have seen Olumide that are really close, navigating from the lowest of the low, between the lowest of the low to the highest of the high. You understand what I'm saying now? So how it they doing? What do you think is responsible for all that? Definitely, I agree with you, say, man, now big advantage to govern a state like this. Because the reason why I say that, sir, in recent years, I don't hear from a lot of people who say, man, they know our current governor up close.
Yes.
They don't come to talk about many things we never hear before. And one thing we say, man, a lot of people seem to agree with now, say, our current governor not get relational currency. You understand? It not sabi relate with people. And a lot of issues there where we say, man, probably can even affect in your own governance. Now, person maybe say, man, on all of them, but only doesn't seem to have any of those kind of defects. What do you think is responsible for that? Of course, if Olu becomes governor, I agree with you, say, man, this one will be multiple advantage.
Yes, I believe it's his upbringing. They say, an apple does not fall far from the parent tree.
Not true.
Fowl, not the born goat. So I believe it was his upbringing. Olumide came from a well-balanced and well-adjusted home. The mother and father, they really instilled the right disciplines in him. Because, I believe I also came from a similar background as well. And I also like to pride myself that I can relate with anybody from any background. It just does not matter. And it all starts from upbringing. There are some people when they go say, they raise them as a jebota. They are like snobs. They don't even talk to. They see people say they go through face, go on, and the rest. And that trait, none of that in the Olumide blood at all. So that background, and also the fact too that he spent his formative years in Warri, because Warri too, like I explained to you, is it was a small town where there was a mixture of background and proper mixture. I'm telling you, everybody when grow up, everybody for worrying a comedian. That's why you not go see anybody for worry when not a big crack joke, one joke here and there. That's life now, just comedy. You take every, in short, when I did Uniben, when I go where that market when I went on our saloon market now, don't forget the name.
Yeah, saloon market then Uniben.
It reached a stage when I did university. It reached towards my later years. I had a car in school, but I can't find out say the pocket money when they give me from house. Now either the car go chop am or me go chop am. So the only way to survive is say myself at the enter market go buy food, go cook because it was cheaper and you are eating better. And I remember then if I reach market, some women go see me, they're not they believe what they see is a show. This guy now they go, how many women then say they won't give me their daughter, make I carry because they could not believe, because even then when they see me, they're not even know say I feel cook. But they don't train us, they don't cook us, they come for house. So they say looks too can be deceptive, which I believe is happening in Olu's case. So some people go, Jebota, and no way. This guy is well adjusted, well rounded, and really, really prepared for this role. What else,
God go bless my brother. So now I want me to talk. The guy with you will talk for one place. I just get this except here. I just want to make a plan small.
One school outside Nigeria, no go. I go nursery school for Warri, primary school for Warri. I go secondary school for Lagos. I go Uniben. Finish. Now be the school when I go. But I can stand shoulder to shoulder. Anybody, any of my mates for this world, nothing when if you do, when I not fit do. At least for inside the law. Even beyond the law. What will I do about education? Make I just talk like this. The kind of education when me receive for Nigeria, now I want to make sure say all Edo citizens receive.
Okay, and also if you know here the waiting there. So in talk statement, he say he go primary school, secondary school, university for Nigeria. He no go any school for abroad. And that waiting you want to do for education, he say he go fit start shoulder to shoulder with anybody when he go school anywhere for this world. Particularly when we get to do with same practice of law and all those things within the confines of the law. Say so your motivation and say the kind of school when he go, when he make him become what he be today for Nigeria. Now that kind of school system, now you want to make sure say he bring to stabilize for Edo State so that people don't go need to, by implication, people don't go, once they don't go school for Nigeria, they should be assured, say yes, they cook, they've done. They don't need to go, they begin to find anything for abroad because the school will be standard enough for them to compete anywhere in this world. What do you say to that? How do you speak to that?
I mean, that that is, to me, that is the essence of the change which I believe, the next wave, the next generation of rulers, that Nigeria would have, they should be coming from that school of thought. Because, the biggest investment you can make is in the human beings. It's not even, although it has to go hand in hand with infrastructural development, but human capital development is key. Because if you have the Bible say, my people perish for lack of wisdom. And if you have a generation growing without wisdom, without vision, you are going nowhere. It doesn't matter how much oil you sell. And if you really look at, for those of us in our 50s, when we look Nigeria, they come, reach where we did. We just find out saying, now back we they go since. Now back we they go. So, and for someone who met Olu, what we had in common, when we they grow up, some of us, our achievement, if you want to go to girl, the achievement when you go carry, they say, oh boy, when that guy did school, the guy for maths exam now 95 out of 100 he get, or 98. Now that one self go first strip the girl, say, oh boy, this guy get brain, this guy get
brain,
That was the generation we grew up with. So at the time when we the right jam, now competition.
Yeah.
Some people say if they go lock themselves for room, they read, say, oh boy.
You know, saying now that all those things don't change. Now they will say the guy get Venza. Now
yeah, exactly. You know, so so all those ones now where you go here say for university self now who they do Yahoo self now that they gravitate towards now be the main man. Those things not they happen that time now. At least when we did secondary school they come. We were always striving for excellence. And I know that there are a lot of things when don't happen, values don't turn upside down for Nigeria. So you have last session of youths when go say Nigeria education has scam. I take God they beg those youths, say that is a very, very ignorant statement.
Yes.
Because they don't know the power of education, where they carry people reach, where it don't carry some of us reach. So I'm sorry. Yes, I know they are saying it based on what they can see in their immediate environment, but I need to assure them that there's a lot more in life outside that immediate environment where we say it don't scatter. So everybody feels in a connection. You need connection for anything, and you cannot stifle excellence. You cannot stifle the talents, God-given talents, when he put for certain people. Our own father's generation, they came from nothing now.
Absolutely.
Let's face the truth. They all came from nothing. So the generation after, when they want to do like say they push, they did this, forget it. 99% of zero is still zero. Let's face it. So that we should. If you look at countries like South Korea, China that are progressing, in those countries, it's not a surprise that why they are progressing, even sometimes more than the West. Why? Because they pay particular attention to education. They pay for extra teachers to make sure that in the science subjects, they brush their students up very, very well. And they see the application of that in their day-to-day lives. And that's why we are all running to China to import everything. So if care is not taking itself, we'll go start to import Gary from China. Why? Because they take education, they take technology very seriously.
Very seriously.
And so some of us are old school that way. And those things need to happen. We cannot get away from it, where our youth, they misplace their priorities. If they drive Venza when you did university, you not get work. Then by the time you reach 30, you did jail somewhere for America or God knows where. It's not life be that.
Of course.
It'll be life now.
I feel you, my brother. I feel you.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oro Etaloku. Honestly, this 1 hour you don't spend so on a very rich 1 hour. I hope say if we call you next time, you no go deny us, because we need to talk more about this our Olu guy matter, because at the end of the day, every Edo State people need to hear from you and a lot of other people. You understand what I'm saying? Now to talk about Olu and all that. We just get small background information about the kind of human being we say they run to become governor of Edo State. Just a moment. Yes, fellow Nigerians and Edo State people most especially, I honestly salute you now for wherever you are joining us from. That we start this matter for better English. We come around into our pidgin English. This is a language all of us understand past. But we've been having, I've been having this chat with Dr. Oro Etaloku, a very close friend of Olumide Akpata. They've been friends for over 40 years. They actually literally grew up together, same school, all the way to university level. And interestingly, Dr. Oro attended University of Benin. The same way, the same thing when say Olu do, even Olu running made. If Olu is elected governor of Edo State, he will be the first University of Benin alumnus to become the governor of Edo State. It never happened before. Probably that too now one matter we need to look at. As great as the Great University of Benin, they never produced a Edo State governor before. This may just be a chance for that to happen. But that said, Dr. Oro don't tell us. Give us a little hint about Olu background. One of the statements we'll get is Olu na brain man or na heavy workaholic. And these are people who say, man, they chop book like say tomorrow, not day. And it goes school, come out in flying colors. As a matter of fact, I will hear it like that say, man, he graduated at a very, very young age. You understand? Start life very early. And today, Olu is arguably one of the most influential Nigerians. Well, you fit even think of, and you understand, he has built his own career to the very highest level. You know, their law firm Templars is one of the biggest in the whole of Africa, you know, and all of that. So this Nama will be saying, man, from what we don't observe, what Oro even talk about now, Nama will be saying, man, if he play, you know, with more picking, play with young people, play with adults, play with old people, you know, the same, like it will just blend easily. And for us, I think that's a very big advantage and big virtue and all of that. We equally talk about the issue of this agenda or that agenda. We can anchor and say, man, look, right now, Edo State on life support. And the best person right now in the field, he go feel resuscitated Edo State economically and otherwise now, Olu, because he get personal life experience. Then we say, man, he already talks, say, man, look, we need to revive Edo State. And so looking at it honestly, you know, we'll talk about integrity and all of that. You know, Dan, I was mid of a notice. I never know Olu for too long, but me, I don't really even notice him. This now will be saying, man, now waiting if he do the talk because it doesn't boldly tell me for some kind of say, man, comrade, this one not if he commit or more because we need to look and where, you understand? And I saw honesty in that. You know, other politicians don't talk say, everything, yes, and all of that. So by and large, I think the importance of this is that we've been able to have a very small snippet of insight into Olu's upbringing, the kind of virtues that we say they grow up with. And most importantly, now picking when you grow for house, you know, because we say Papa and Mama train. This is very, very key. Because a lot of people, they will be saying they will not really know their background. We don't get any information about them and all of that. So it's good we hear this kind of things. So my name is Akpata, and of course, we're on to the comrade show. Hopefully next week we'll bring on that person when he will constantly tell us a little bit, you understand, and all of that. Because at the end of the day, Olu like right now be like elephant. And you know, say my father used to tell me those days, say, man, you know, to describe elephant, if you blindfold people, say, me go describe elephant, me touch elephant, me talk how elephant be. Now where each person touch them, now I go describe, you understand? But an elephant is just all encompassing. It will fit all description. So it be as Olu matter be. So which means that we have Olumide Akpata running for governorship of Edo State, and they give a lot of people hope, saying, look, if this guy's elected, Edo State will just be on the path of real change, noticeable one. Importantly, this is a very important information. Edo State was established, created, you know, as an independent state, you know, on the 27th of August, 1991. Since then till now many years old. But when you look at Benin City, that has been capital, that's capital of Edo State, was capital of Bende State, was even capital of Midwest State, you will see and say, man, there's a lot that needs to be done. Make anybody not use wuru, take close our eyes. Make them not use optics, shiny, take cover the red thing. Edo State people, my name is Akpata. I will see you now again. I bet if you did there, you did Facebook, you did YouTube, you share this broadcast, and of course, let's take the information further. God will bless you now. Any last word, Dr. Oro? You may have one last word we want to tell our people.
Well, I greet all of you now. The team, they say, me, I did very convinced. Say that good governance when Edo State people they pray for some people for a long time. Me, I believe, say, God don't bring una pikin, Olumide, Osaigbovo, Akpata, to really come change the story of Edo State. I beg una, make una support her. It not go disappoint you now. It not go fall on our hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Oro. Nice having you.
Nice having you. Thank you.
Party ni magwalo Labour Party ya Gele Ibieto mezona nejeme Party ni magwalo Otega abu Osena zebo Ibieto mezona nejeme Party ni magwalo
Peter no Labour Party otu ni mani Edo State no rima otu ne Peter Obi ye ona otu no ga seti ru agwapa ke wo maye otedo mani Edo man nemi no bugbe wo bakari oba no ga mani makebe mo magwalo ọ̀wọ́n ànọ̀gá sẹ̀tì ìwé nàhíà yẹn náà rọ́bì mà òtímà Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata ọ̀gá rúwé àwọn gbogbo ramẹ́ ìyòbọ̀ nìbà ẹ̀mẹ́ náà pọ̀wé yà òun ìsìnmi ìgbéra rọ̀ ukpara bàbá yà ọ̀gá wìyóbi rónèmà ní dúẹ́kì ìrìmàgà yẹ̀sùkù nà mà òkú pátábísì gànà kìnyàbé yà náà ẹ̀yà rí sí yó wàríyàzẹ́nẹ̀ Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata àrí ìyèrè ìpísẹ̀ yangé ní pátíníkẹ́ dòbẹ̀bọ̀ náà ìyá máa rú èmi rọ̀pá ìyá máa gbé tù fíẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀nà yẹn yìí máa yá fẹ́ yàzẹ́nẹ̀ òbí ẹ̀dọ́ òbí èsèsèsè Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata náà ládìí àmì Labour Party náà yẹ́rà rí yẹ́ wọ́n mọ ya wọn àgbẹ̀ àrí ìyèrè Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata ẹ̀ Peter Obi zẹ́ o wàrí yàzẹ́nẹ̀ Labour Party òsàtà ẹ̀nẹ̀ o.
Labour Party.